a seat to the bar and join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Hosts Tansen, Jess, and Maggie bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk. Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 10.18, Fellowship of the Tattoo, where we are covering the novel Death Masks. My name is Tansen, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello, hello.
And Jess.
Yo. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers for your generous support. It's people like you who help us to do what we do. If you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, sign up today and get a fuck ton of bonus content, kick-ass merch, behind-the-scenes outtakes, and more. Sign up today at www.patreon.com/freeflowrambling.
Chapter 20. Harry and Anna are ambushed by 3 Denarians, their leader being Nicodemus. Nicodemus requests a Shroud in a standoff, and eventually Dresden distracts them with an uncontrolled fire spell, allowing them to escape. They make it to Susan, who gets them all to the limo, but at the last moment, Harry is captured.
So, of course, we left off the last chapter with Anna being all, whatever, they already killed my friends, they can't hurt me anymore.
I'm not hungry anymore.
And then and then Nicodemus popping up and being like, ugh, I love it. You guys always say that.
Nicodemus.
In the dim light of their little broom closet cubbyhole thingy, they find snake hair white bride lady we've met before.
The bride with the white hair.
That one.
This is a martial arts reference. Apparently it's a failed reference on my part. I thought there was probably more people that were into martial arts. But
I feel like there was. I feel like there was more people on the Discord, but I could be imagining that because I'm. Anyways,
pretty sure you're imagining that.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody saying anything about it.
Did nobody else chime in on that?
Did anybody out there?
I don't know.
Catch my title of the bride with the white hair?
Dreamed it or something. Have all kinds of strange conversations and things that I think I've done, or it's like, wait, I did that already, didn't I? Oh, I just dreamed I did it. Crap, I still have to.
Right. You thought to respond.
Exactly.
It was there on the tip of your tongue, and it just absorbed into your brain and then went out your ears.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so Harry checks out the Denarians. One, as you said, was the same one from the harbor, and then there was a second half-snake man, and they both have that double set of eyes. And the last Denarian is the man with the trench coat, the British accent, and a necktie, or rather a hangman's noose. Because nothing says evil. Bad guy like British.
Yep. Hey, Anna's got a slight British accent, too.
And she's a bad guy.
So does Ivy. Can't trust anyone.
All right, so they're either really intelligent or they're evil, or both.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That's
sums up the British. I was gonna say Anna's a bad guy, but she's not like a bad guy, you know. She's a little bit of a crook.
Misunderstood and drawn that way.
She's
international
I'm
thief.
not bad. I'm just drawn that way. Yeah, but you know,
I didn't know that was Kathleen Turner for the longest time that voiced her.
Oh, yes.
Because I love Kathleen Turner. I was like,
yes.
I think I was like, that was like 3 years ago that I found that out. I was like, what?
Oh, wow. I don't even want to think how old that movie is right now. Right. Jessica was Jessica Rabbit when Halloween, though.
Cute.
It was pretty good.
I could see you pulling that off. Did you like put like a red wing on, or?
Yep. Yeah, she had a slinky red dress and purple gloves up to her armpits and big red hair, and yeah.
I did the whole like drag thing where you like put
block
glue
out
over your eyebrows and like put the concealer over it and drew the eyebrow like halfway up my forehead instead.
That's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So with you said they both had the snake eyes thingy too.
The double sets of eyes.
The double sets of eyes, but the freaky thing. So with the bear,
they were definitely like he had sort of like regular eyes and then eyes up in his forehead. Pretty sure that's how slinky hair girls were described too or whatever. But the snakes are like inside of one or the other. Because he's like, he too had the double pair of eyes, one set golden and serpentine, the other inside the first, glowing faintly blue-green.
You know what? It gives me a really, I can just imagine, because you know how snakes' eyes
I was just going to say, is this like the sideways thing that,
So it would be like blink, blink, like sideways, vertical.
Oh, gross. Like a cootie catcher? You know, like up and this way and that way. So, but yeah, exactly. That's kind of what made me think of it too when he like describes it that he, because I think, again, I sort of semi-glossed over it the first, 6 times actually I haven't, because this is the one book I've read the least amount of times. But yeah, always kind of figured it was like the double set, but in paying more attention, I was like, oh no, wait, he's got like the different colored eyes in set with the other. And then yeah, it just totally made me think of like the sideways blinky thing of like snakes and stuff, and just so other weirdness and creepiness and just off-puttingness.
So where are snake girl, or not snake, let me try that again. Where are demon girls? Like, are they like above?
I was
like
pretty
the bear, or
that was the impression I got, and it would have to maybe go back. But since it didn't stand out anymore, I'm assuming that hers were kind of the same thing. That she had the normal eyes, and then the like up in the forehead eyes, right, which is like how the bear or seals were described or whatever, right?
Because I did catch that it was different for the snake guy, but then I couldn't remember going back like whether the other two, where they were placed.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that was the same thing with, because when he maces her and stuff like that, the pepper spray, right?
It works only on one set.
Yeah, like her one eyes, but again, I thought I was thinking is I'm pretty sure hers are upset? Offset up. But anyways, yes, that they are the mid-forehead secondary pair of eyes popping open or whatever. But
right.
So yes, we got Snake Boy and we got lion-legged girl, and then just a dude in a trench coat with a weird tie.
I laughed so hard. I forgot, I shouldn't even say that I forgot. We all know I forgot. But I laughed really hard at that how Anna Belmont just doesn't give a flying fuck what he's got to say. Just opens fire. He starts talking again. She's like, fuck that. Opens fire again. Like,
Yes, it is. It's brilliant, right?
And he's just kind of bored about it. Whatever. Just get this over with.
Right, because he does. It's like so typical of the way he starts off with Nicodemus and everything like that, right? He's like, well, what have we here? Our bold thief. And she's just like, bam, bam, bam. And he just like stands there for a minute. And like, right, she's
that
like,
was rude. Bam, bam, bam again.
Yeah, basically. And he's all like, right, and Harry's all like, oh, he's gonna do like his the big monologue that all the Urbane villains like to do nowadays, and blah blah blah. And like, he figures she's hit something good, because he like starts getting like a lot of blood. Like, she only hits him 3 times the first time, but he's like probably hit the heart or an artery or something, because he's got a lot of blood happening fast.
He's
right?
oozy.
He's oozy. And then and he's just like, wow, I hate being interrupted. And Harry's like, I'm like a girl after my own heart. She just shoots him some more.
That's great.
It is brilliant. It's like, oh, I love Anna.
I owe you nothing. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, right? She's just like, fuck this. Let me just shoot the crap. And I mean, again, fair. She's already seen the one demon thing and how ineffective they all were against her, right? Like, Francesca went for the knife, and I think she might have got like a cut or something, but obviously not enough to stop her before she was like gutted. Anna tried shooting her, didn't do anything. Harry started blasting her with fire spells, and didn't do a whole lot.
I think there's something a little creepier about a man that looks normal that just is like, whatever.
Well, there is a bit, but it's probably why she also
big bad monsters. You expect them to like bounce back.
Yeah, well, and
humans.
This is probably why I figure she goes, because she's got 2 demony looking things and knows from personal experience that one of them was completely ineffectual against. So she's like, I'm gonna go with the dude in the trench coat, and takes aim. And unfortunately, though, just because he's standing there looking human does not mean he was human.
No.
And firing a good 6 or however many shots she had in that gun, and it's even better because when she starts, firing off the next bunch, he just like crosses his arms and waits, and then like, come on, get this over. Like, wow, how rude. Like, not only are you like terrified and like shooting for your life, and they're not only are they just not like dying or reacting, they're like, come on already. You're just like, fuck
It was a great,
like,
beautifully painted moment. Like,
so insulting on both sides.
The worst part here is that when he's standing there, finally gets to do his speech afterwards, and he's all like, thief, you stole something I have an interest in, give it back to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, the only reason you even have a grab for it is because she took it out of the church. Because when it was in the church, you had nothing. You needed her to get it off the property for you to even have a chance of getting it for yourself.
I was gonna say, because
he's like, you're such a fucking thief. You should have this. You should give it to me, bitch. Like,
yeah, exactly, right? It's like, well, I'm sure if you could have got it, you guys would have stolen it long before now. Like, I'm sure this wasn't just you suddenly
you've
decided
been staring at it through the window for a couple hundred years.
it's a lot of manipulative words, like a bunch. Like, I'm noticing is very smarmy.
Is very much more, Nicodemus. He's not the overt, he's not the big bully, he's not, I'm gonna smash you, you know what I mean, is exactly right. He's
So he does tell Anna to give him the shroud and that she can leave. Like, just give me it and you can go.
Yeah.
And Dresden takes advantage of the moment and grabs the transmitter. Hey, Bogart, you and the Wonder Twins back off or the bed sheet gets it.
Yeah, right. Well, we find another little thing, too, because after all of that, before he continues on, when he's done trying to get shot and all that kind of stuff, and he's like, where was I? Because he's like, oh, proprieties, we haven't even done the introductions or whatever, right? And the other, the female demon pipes up, and she's like, proprieties, father. So there's also a link there that you weren't really expecting to get.
So the proprieties? What was that word?
So just when Anna shoots him the first time, and he's like, I hate being interrupted. There's proprieties to see to. We haven't done the introductions. And then she starts shooting him some more.
Okay.
So then when her gun finally clicks empties, that's where he's like, where was I? And the demon, the other girl, pipes up and she was like, reminding him.
Father.
Yeah, she was like, proprieties is where you were at, father. But yeah, exactly. So all of a sudden you're like, oh. So whether that's
runs in the family.
Demon father-daughter or mortal father-daughter, or I don't know, but
Either way,
it's just like, yeah, it's not a whole, and then they go off on, so then exactly, Harry trying to stall for time and try and figure shit out, pulls the transmitter out of Anna's pocket, which again is funny, because he's like, when he was first sneaking in and trying to get it, because he was going to grab the thing and go, and then he hears Anna on the walkie-talkie to Marcone and being like, I've got a thing wired up to this, so I'm going to leave it here and go away, and if you don't let me get far enough away, I'm just going to, make it go off and incinerate the whole thing. And Harry's like, I'm just going to back off and hold my breath, because I don't want to accidentally trigger this thing. And now he's like, let me just yank it out of your pocket and hold it for a while. And I'm like, I get you're in this situation of, you got to take you know what I mean? Like, but it's kind of funny. It's like you go from trying to, like, stay very far away and think, like, happy, non-magical thoughts to just, like, very aggressively grabbing this thing and going. So I was like, your stall tactic may be a blow everybody up tactic. I'm like, there's one thing to stall and threaten with it, but I was like, again, you don't know if you're going to accidentally set this thing off or not. Like, it's not like a controlled risk or whatever, like,
Yeah, he definitely gets called on it, like, because he's like, you're really close to that blast fire if you're gonna threaten me with that. He's like, fuck, you're right.
That's the other thing is that, Nicodemus is like, haha, big arrogant, you're not gonna blow us all up. And Harry, again, though, is a little bit like, I will. Because he says, he's like, or you kill yourself, and he's like, rather than let, like, you kill me, like, yes, because Harry's like, I don't trust what you guys would or could do, and I'd rather just exactly, like, pull the pin and end.
If this is strong enough to take me out as well, it might be strong enough to take you out as well.
Yeah, and I'd rather just die quickly in a bomb blast than whatever the fuck you guys are gonna do to me, like the whole torture, drawn out, nasty, turn me into something thing, right?
I do love that Nicodemus. I love that Nicodemus. He pulls out this big giant gun, and Dresden's like, a gun? I'm like, come on, you do the same thing. You're a wizard with a gun.
See, and nobody expects it. Even Harry doesn't expect it. He's like,
how about I kill Anna instead?
Yeah.
Because he obviously knows Harry's weakness for damsel, and he outright says it. He's like, yeah, I've been watching you. You're a sucker.
Well, and again, this is the interesting point, is because Anna was so busy just trying to shoot the guy, they didn't get introductions. So, he says, oh, you can call me Nicodemus or whatever, right? But then he's like, So he's like, yeah, the demon groupie headman uses a gun. Like, you've got to be kidding me. So he's like, oh, call me Nicodemus. And he's like, trendy, I know, but you can only watch. And he's like, yeah, Harry's like, oh, you think that's going to, like, pressure me? Like, how do you know I'm not going to eat? And he's like, you've been known to do these things before, Harry Dresden. And Harry's like, oh, shit, he knows who I am. Like, you can call me by name, right? So, again, he still doesn't really know who he's up against. But obviously, they've done their homework or, whatever, have come to his attention that they know who he is. So... yeah, so he does a little, he's like, I'll just do the count to 3 thing, and then I'm going to kill Anna.
One!
And then, yeah, he's like, you've repeatedly done such things when there's a woman in danger, Harry. And he's like, oh, shit, well, now I'm fucked. So he still tries to bluff it a little bit longer. And, he's like, 2, and he's like, oh, come on. And he's like, 3, and he's like, okay, fine. Right, so immediately chucks him the detonator at that point, right? And
which is enough of a distraction for him to throw a really uncontrolled fuego spell.
Yeah.
That pushes everybody back into the walls.
Yes. Thank God. So yeah, he things it out from there because he's like, this is why I like to have my little nifty tools. But he figures that the only reason Nicodemus didn't go like straight like the werewolf, like the loop guru that went through like 4 buildings when he blasted it out through the wall of the police building, is that he figures he hit a stud or something like that because he's like the drywall and everything like that crumples around him, but he gets
and he's got enough force to it.
Yeah, so he's like, he would have been blasted way away, but he probably like, right, so ow. I mean, even just the description, just like the whiplashing of that, I'm like, oh, that hurts. So yeah, knocks the other 2 out of the way.
Part of like the reason cars crumple so much is like to take a lot of the impact and make it less bad on you.
Yeah.
So imagine the force that could normally send you through 4 walls and you get stopped at the first wall.
Yeah.
That's a lot of force. That's very painful.
Very painful. Yeah.
Going through the walls might have been softer landing.
Probably, yeah. Probably would have just, had to slow down through all the layers of drywall.
And how he describes it, like that his arms and shoulders were thrust back. Like, that is just
gross.
Shattered bones everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly it. You're like, enough for all of that to shatter the drywall behind you. That exactly, he would have kept going if he hadn't, so.
Instead of the walls, though, it happened to his body.
Yeah, and I mean, we've all walked into walls and stuff enough on our own, whether sober or otherwise or whatever, that I'm like, even how much, don't look at me like that, Jessica. You've gotten a head rush and fallen into a wall before. You've stood up or lost your balance, or, one of my favorites is I apparently, seem to, like, corner more quickly than I always seem to like to catch the corner on things when I go around.
My enemy is those stairs right there.
Yes. But we all know how much that hurts, and that's just, again, not necessarily running full tilt or anything. That's just, like, I was walking and bopped against, and you're like, so yeah, I can only imagine how much that.
And reinforced wood is not your friend.
No, I mean, again, right? Like, this is a very large building. This is holding up,
I don't know what kind of wood this hotel used to build, but
again, usually, yeah, you're friend.
Hell, it could be a steel reinforced if it's a commercial building.
Like, that's what I'm saying, though. Is like, it probably isn't like IKEA.
No, it's definitely not
fake wall
particle board thing. Yeah, because they're downstairs in the bowels, sort of this. So I mean, again, you probably got to assume there's maybe like underground parking, but whatever. Like you say, right? They're down in like the concrete foundations and shit. So exactly, it's. But anyways, regardless, point being, very much out, very much boom, blast them out, and he's like, we gotta go.
Right, he does grab Anna and the Shroud, and they begin to escape through the ventilation shaft. And this part, to me, like, ugh. I shoved at Velmont, growing more frantic as my imagination turned up images of whipping tendrils cutting my legs to shreds or venomous serpent fangs sinking into my calves as scaled hands dragged me backwards by my ankles. And to me, that's just like the worst when you can't see what's coming behind you.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as this is going to sound lame, it just reminds me of my sister that used to chase me up the stairs and try to tickle me.
Yep.
That sort of like impending, no!
Well, because that's what most of us know is that childhood, because same thing. My brother used to chase me around and stuff like that, right? I had one brother in particular that used to love scaring the crap out of us was fun. And exactly, you're trying to run away. That anticipation, that fear. You're like, you can't stop and look behind you because you'll lose ground or you'll run into a wall.
Right. Or those old basements where it's just like the single steps where something could actually reach through and grab your ankles. So you run up them as fast as you can.
We did not have those. We had
my grandma's stuff
closed stairs down to our basement.
It was like in like drumheller in the basement was actually dug out, and it was all dirt, but you had these regular wooden stairs, and so you get down there, it's super dark, there's no electricity, and then you have to run up the stairs because clearly whatever is in that crypt is going to grab you.
It absolutely will, and it will absolutely reach through the stairs to grab you. And yeah, no, we had like the split stairs, so like up and then a little landing and up, and then we had like I don't know, maybe like 3 foot wide sort of little banister like over the top of the stairs or whatever. So he used to like always pretending to like dangle us over like he was going to drop us off the stairs and stuff like that too. And yeah, it was all kinds of, but exactly right.
Just that beautiful anticipation moment where you feel it yourself. It's just like, yeah, been there, gross.
And the whole thing, like you get the claustrophobic vibe too, because you're not even just like running down a hallway that something's coming up. You're in like this box that you got to crawl through. And something might, and I mean, I can only imagine after the whole vampire thing, you know, I mean, that was all weird things in the dark. That was things grabbing him and pulling him back. And again, right, like you're trying to scramble and something reaches out and grabs your foot and starts pulling you back. Like it's, whatever. It's like every horror movie ever, every childhood trauma.
Mentioned before, I don't think I did, like the whole the whole concept of going through ventilation shafts is like a Hollywood invention. Because if you ever worked in construction, and you've seen ventilation shafts, number one, they are not that big. You have to be like a 4-year-old to go die hard through these vents. It's not happening. They are not clean. Lots of sharp edges. There are tons of screws that are poking straight through them because what keeps them up?
Well, that's like
it's not feasible, people. No.
We have to climb on top of our restaurant all the time, like above the kitchen, where like the rafters are. And like we had to like bring like orange spray paint up there because there's like, you know, like 15-foot screws just sticking up into the attic. We have to constantly go up there to grab shit. So it's like, this is our storage space.
Market.
Avoid the giant screws that you're not walking ever again.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen, and definitely an angry WCB.
And some come from the ceiling too, and in certain spots that's low enough to get you in the head. So it's very fun up there.
Well, it sounds like is it a new enough building to at least not have asbestos?
So, it's got to be.
There's that.
Yeah, it is. So it's not so much like an attic as it is just like an Iron Maiden that you guys put overflow into.
Basically, it's one restaurant on top of another, and there's a space in the middle that we go crawl around in.
Oh my god!
But yeah, sounds pretty accurate.
It sounds completely legal.
It must be.
It has to be. They wouldn't let them do it if it wasn't. Because nobody ever does that with just...
Dear labor law.
But yeah, so exactly. So Anna's already done, because he sort of stunned her from the spell, and then as he grabs her to shove her in, poor Anna's lost an eyebrow, and like the one side of her face is already starting to blister. So it's not even just like, oh, it's red. It's like, no, it's starting to blister. Like he...
Also, I like the sentence, though, where it's like, Valmont didn't crawl as quickly as I wanted her to. But then she wasn't the one closest to the fire and the monsters.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah,
that
point.
too.
Yeah.
She's definitely got the dumb going on, like, half my face
he
is
tried
burnt,
to
and
tell
that
her.
sucked. I just hit a wall.
He tried to tell her she didn't want to listen. She did this to herself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Partially.
she's actively...
Lots of shock, yeah.
She saw the monsters kill her friend, though, and still stayed involved.
Yeah.
But yes, that is true. Because she still just, at that point, she's like, let me just get my money and go. I gotta get something out of this. And now it's like, is that
And then
still
she was
worth
fucking
it?
around with Marcone, too, and she's like, you know what, this has already been so bad, I want a couple more million, because, give me another reason to stay in this basement to die.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, again, she is still trying to rationalize it, because Harry's still trying to explain to her that these things are demons and stuff, right? So she's still like, it couldn't have been that bad. They're not going to, that was just weird that they found me there. Like, they're not going to track me here. Nobody knows I'm, but yeah, exactly. She's still trying to sell herself a story. And so between like the physical, getting her brains rattled from the fire, concussion and all of that, and then again just the emotional shock or whatever, psychological shock of whatever, is exactly she's a little stunned right now. So he's like, go, 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 and then exactly it's like move.
Yeah, and that's another level of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. So they do at least manage to make it through, because exactly like you say, not only is the demons maybe, but he's just set the room on fire behind him. So who knows if and what and how that's going to be coming up the vent or not,
right.
you know?
And as soon as they get through, like, Susan is there and grabs him and moves him out of the way almost immediately to get to avoid the oncoming hair.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's one of those funny little moments, right? So, like, yeah, it's like all of a sudden Anna, like, oh, okay, I don't know who this is because Susan hasn't encountered her before. And then she pulls Harry out and she's like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, and she like shoves him out of the way and like smacks him into the dryer.
And this is like the transformation moment. This is just like, holy fucking shit. What's about to happen here? Like, cause Susan, like,
well, yeah, we only got a taste of this because we've only really seen it when she first
struggled with another vampire.
Yeah, when he first showed up at her door. When she showed up at his door, it's exactly that's what he came up.
But we get very little about it. It's
yeah,
just kind of like
it was in the dark, right? He's coming up and he just sees like two figures fighting in the dark, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then suddenly she's like, "Hey, Harry!" And he's like, "Oh my god, it's Susan!" And it's like Susan just scared off a vampire. Like what?
Yeah, but in this case, like the demon girl comes through, she swift kicks the demon in the face. Then she dodges the retaliating hair attack. Not only that, but she like traps it in the washing machine, and then does another kick to the knee, like the disabling moment.
Yeah.
Like this, like I just think of Matrix here, where she just like becomes superhuman. This.
Susan's well, that really is cool. Basically, yeah, is she is this half supernatural side now,
and it's fast too. And it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, so you get this super cool martial artsy, like obviously, I mean, you can even suppose that given the type of woman that Susan was before, and when she started poking her nose around supernatural things, you know what? Very possible she's done a women's self-defense course down at the Y or something like this, right? She might. But this is like serious hardcore. She's learned some shit.
She has just debilitated an extremely dangerous and deadly demon.
Yeah.
With
barehanded.
Yeah. Nothing. So like she avoided all the hair.
Yeah.
And then she follows it up with an iron board smack down, and then she's like, bitch.
Yeah.
And then she just calls Martin at like a pickup.
Right.
like it's nothing.
Right. I mean, she'd kick off her shoes, so, she wasn't able to do it in stilettos, but, beyond that. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, you can tell, like, there's some work. She doesn't just do it, like, nothing. But
this is a demon that's had thousands of years of experience, not just
6 months or a year.
Not a new demon, like Susan's a new demon as well, right?
Yeah. And only a half demon, right? Like, she doesn't have all the strength and power of a full vampire either, right? So, yeah, but I mean, again, she had a little bit of surprise, and again, she went in hard, put this thing down hard, don't underestimate it. So she went, full balls to the wall kind of a thing. But yeah, she basically attempts to pound the crap out of this thing before it can realize what's going. Because again, it doesn't know that, right? It's chasing Dresden. Doesn't know that there's somebody else in this room waiting, right? So yeah, she gets the drop on her, beats the crap out of her, like indents her face into like an ironing board.
Right.
And then, yeah, and Dresden's meanwhile going like, ow, fuck, you just smacked me into the dryers. It's like, I was trying to save you, sorry, tough love, it hurts, I don't know.
And nice that Martin's distraction is done. He's like, managed to pick himself up enough to still help them escape. Whatever he did earlier was not a one-trick pony.
Yeah, so perhaps, it wasn't his car that he drove into the thing, because he's now
He definitely knows what he's doing.
But yeah, she's going to call him again to come get him. So presumably they have a working vehicle, and exactly that he was not in the middle of whatever that crunch was, that he's now detained by crowds or hotel security or police or anything like that, right?
Yeah, he's able to cause a lot of mayhem in a very short period of time and get away with it.
Yeah, so again, whatever it was that he did is obviously he did not
he's also a cellophane man, so it's just like he just take off his jacket and walk away, and
he'd
be like, who the fuck, what? Nobody was there. I didn't see anybody.
I have no idea, but yeah, so
who was that? Some average guy with average build, with average hair and average eyes?
Exactly, yes, that guy. I saw him too. Yeah, so he's gonna come, and then, once again, Susan is under attack. So all of a sudden, like, this shadowy thing starts moving around her, and before they can figure out, it's coalesced into, like, this barrel of snakes that just has, and she's not liking it.
Harry knows that it's a magical attack,
yeah, he
too.
feels,
He's like, oh, spider senses.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly, all of a sudden she's just swarmed, and, what do you call a swarm of snakes?
An orgy.
Well, there you go. It isn't.
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
But
That would work.
but that's how they reproduce.
That it is.
Giant ball.
Jessica's looking confused. I feel like we just
No, I know that, but not all of them.
no.
This is not that. It's not a reproduction moment.
No. Anyways,
This is a suck moment.
So yes, she's all of a sudden, and she's not like, she like screams, like all of a sudden these things are like, I mean, again, it's the unexpected. She had no way to
Maybe
prep
it's
it.
slithering.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have
Sorry.
to check that out really. Yeah.
I'm
Google
looking.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
looking.
So they're biting, magical, icky, and they are all over her, and she's trying to peel them off like they've bitten dug in. So she's like ripping skin and flesh to tear these things out of her as well. So then Harry's like, okay, this is a magical attack.
A den.
Oh, that's not as exciting. I thought a slither would have been cooler. So a den of snakes gets dropped on her head.
Well, now that I'm hearing that, I think I've heard that before.
I may have, yeah, but
A
Den of
slither.
a slither would be much cooler. A slither of snakes. Anyways.
A slime of them.
Yeah.
A hissing.
Except that they're not slimy. Yeah, a hiss. Anyways. Harry's gonna drop a disruption spell on this, but he's gotta figure it out because he's like, if it's too weak, it's just gonna feed it more. Much like, if you go to blow on a candle or something, if you blow too little, you're just gonna feed it and fan the flames as opposed to extinguishing it.
Wasn't he worried about doing another fire spell? Like it wouldn't.
And well, no, he's trying to do just a disruption. I can't remember if he does that, but yeah. Basically, yeah.
He uses a wind spell.
He's
though.
not gonna set Susan up. Well, he does just a disruption spell first to get them. Yeah, because that's what he's trying to do. He's like, it's got to be powerful enough to counteract it.
Oh, I thought he used a wind spell and knocked him backwards is what he did, and then he uses a counter spell, which gets rid of the actual snake
Okay,
spell
fine.
itself.
Okay, fine. So yeah, when Snake Boy comes out, he smacks him with a wind spell to find. But yeah, I was talking about the to dispel the snakes.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
There was two in a short.
There was
period
two
of
in a
time.
short period of time. I was not thinking about the one to about the other guy. But yeah, basically, anyways, he doesn't have his blasting rod or his staff or anything like that. So he's like, I gotta make it not too big to blast all of us and not too small that I'm just gonna like help the snakes instead of getting rid of them or whatever.
Right.
And of
It's
course,
much easier to deal with goo
yeah.
than it is with.
Yeah, but he manages. He pulls it off. He pulls his little entropis or whatever, and basically, yeah.
Entropy?
I was gonna say, is this got to be kind of exactly? He just kind of blocks it, right? His spell and that spell just basically cancel each other out.
Sorry, Entropis?
Entropis is what he says. So manages to do that. So they disable Snake Eye. They get rid of the snake, and then so the whole thing is that Susan, he figures she's getting some like bruising or something like that from all these snakes, and then realizes it's not that.
Right, large tattoos manifest all over Susan's body, and the Snake Man gets really nervous and alerts that the Fellowship is here.
Yeah,
And then he tries to get Dresden. Love this. So he tries to get closer to Dresden, but Susan throws a fucking dryer at him.
Yeah,
a dryer!
A dryer. And again...
Now that is a big eye-opener there. It's not just like, kung fu, wonderful, like, hey, look, I've learned some martial arts since I've been a super being. Now I'm going to throw a dryer.
And
That was
again...
probably attached to the wall.
That was probably attached to the wall, and it's an industrial, not even like a larger one that you might have in a family dwelling. They already established these are like commercial washer and dryers in this
giant
hotel.
Holy shit right there, Batman.
And she rips it out of the wall and flings it at Snake Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't piss Susan off.
Harry.
So there is
Harry.
a lot of mystery going around with Susan right now because she's like got these weird markings. She has clearly been like been affected in a way that she's got this super strength that she hasn't divulged to Dresden at all until by example.
Yeah.
So there is lots of mystery going on with her.
Well, it's a good thing he's not willing to press it, because there was a washing machine there too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair.
Gonna watch that snake. Yep. Yep. So seeing that she is not completely incapacitated, because the first thing that happens is he just gets fucking full on rage when this thing goes after Susan, right? Which is why he has to be careful not to blast them all to smithereens and
Right,
uses
there we go. Yeah.
the wind spell to... Then sees that, okay, she's injured, but she's still holding her own, right? Takes care of it, and you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, Susan, Valmont, and Harry run away with the Shroud up the set of stairs, and Susan like just very easily dispatches like the security guards that are on the way.
She's just like, yeah, enough of this shit now, right? Because there's like fellowship. She's like, not now, okay? Like we don't have time to discuss this right now. So again, you can totally just picture this out of like a million different action movies or what, after the big bad guy and the big brawl and the actual like toe to toe, strength to strength, and then you get like a couple of fucking like hotel security, and she's just like poof poof.
These are probably then thugs from
The party, the hotel.
Marcone's thugs.
Yeah, Marcone's, yeah. Just pair of gorillas in red security blazers, so whether they're just regular Joe Schmo's hotel security thugs or Marcone's thugs, whatever, basically. She's just like...
Not actually gorillas, though.
Not actually, which you do have to specify sometimes with Dresden.
Because we've come across gorillas before.
Yeah, that too.
It's possible.
Yeah, so basically, and they're kind of still hustling Anna along, because Anna's still a little bit sort of dazed and confused at this point, right? So she's not completely with it. So yeah,
they do make it outside, and Martin's got
Martin is
the
right there.
limo waiting, so it wasn't damaged entirely enough.
Yeah, or like I say, Martin being Martin, picked some other poor schmo's car to drive through the galaxy window, because
Did it say it was the limo, or did I assume it was the limo?
We don't know anything. We just heard a crash and a bang, so we just know that something like drove into the hotel.
Right. So he
again,
grabbed anything.
Yeah, we all kind of assume that that's probably what he did, but considering he's now immediately there.
So it may not have been the limo then.
I was like, again, he might have, gotten somebody else's car or motor, or who the fuck knows.
He punched out some other guy, grabbed him, and then the guy's like, I don't know what just hit me, it was the wind.
Martin just pretended to be the valet because he blends in so well. He's already, just like, let me park your car,
Somebody gave him
sir, and
$5 for it, too?
Exactly, and he parked it in the middle of the lobby. So yes, Martin is there. There's a vehicle there. Everybody starts piling in. Dresden is trying to get in, and something grabs him, and he fumbles to try and grab the car door and ends up just closing it.
Him and the Shroud.
Yes, because he had it
trapped.
Because he had it slung over his shoulder in the.
And he can't quite tell what it is, but he does eventually realize that it's Nicodemus's shadow that's holding him, and then relieves him of the Shroud as well.
Yeah, well, he tries to go. Well, poor Susan.
I don't know why this reminds me of Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Just for
because
some
she
reason,
does that. Because she does that whole inky thing,
right,
where it all kind of creeps out like a big shadow and swirling, and then blocks out the screen.
Okay, it's been.
It isn't
far too long since I've watched that. In the back of my head,
and
it's Ursula.
And
he is Ursula.
Yes,
which I kind of love, actually.
Except I don't know if he can sing.
Poor unfortunate souls.
Or Nicodemus is all about those. So Susan's all gonna, Harry, no! And he's like, just get out of here. And Martin, of course, fast on the ball. Susan tries to, Martin's like, click, locks, and goes.
Bye!
So yeah, it's like, oh, Martin, we just saw Susan rip a dryer out of something.
Yeah, right.
You may have wanted to pause a second. She's not going to be happy with you, Martin. So, and apparently the noose is the only thing that's not. So while
not
the rest,
covered in blood?
Yeah, so while his shirt and jacket and everything got soaked, his tie, point being, he's not head to foot in blood. He's just all bloody from where Anna shot him up a whole bunch. So just all of his chest and downward and everything like that is but not his tie.
So I thought he was fully covered in blood except for the
no,
noose.
He just says the noose was the only thing he wore that wasn't soaked with blood. So basically, yes, it's like he said when he's like, Anna hit his heart or an artery or something like that because he was bleeding profusely, but he was not going down. So yeah, he's bleeding out like anybody would from getting shot. It just didn't stall him at all. So yes, so he's covered in shadow.
It's part demon, part Terminator.
Part demon, part Terminator. Tries to do magical stuff, but something is blocking that and basically cuts him off from it right away. They grab the courier's tube from him, and he's like, oh. And he does a little James Burns. What the hell was that? Mr. Burns. Excellent. He's like, now I have the Shroud, and I have you. And Harry's like, whatever. He's like, what do you want? He's like, just to talk, just a polite conversation. He's like, blow me. He's like, oh. Harry. Like, I'm trying so hard to be a polite gentleman here and you just keep being like just a vulgar child.
Pistol whips him.
Pistol whips him, yeah. Harry's like, oh shit, maybe it's like, maybe I shouldn't have been quite so mouthy. And then he's just like, no, just clubs him and he's like, boom, out before he hits the ground. Mm-hmm. So, dun dun dun, the bad guys got Harry. One more monstrous thing in the night.
That's a great setup for Nicodemus.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's got it all. He's like, I got Harry, I got the Shroud.
I love Nick.
Yeah, he's that was great. Like, just to see him come out and just be like, meh.
Yeah, nothing phases him, and except a lack of manners.
He's got a little bit of that coolness that Marcone has, but there's something that's just a little bit more smarmy and suave.
Yeah, because you can like fire off a full chamber of bullets into him and there's something a little bit more creepy about Nicodemus. It's like Marcone is just your average Joe Blow stone cold killer.
He's still
but
dangerous.
He's a mortal man. He's dangerous, but he's a mortal man. I'm like, if that had been him standing there and Anna had unloaded,
I kind of feel like this is like a reflection of where Marcone could be if he were actually a supernatural baddie. Like he could just end up being
one
like
shudders
that.
To think. And I think this is probably a lot of Harry's problem with him now that he's starting. Like they say, we found out in this book, he got himself a magical security console. He's got
one chapter before.
He's got wards up around the thing. Harry's like, I do not fucking want this guy getting into the supernatural world because exactly, he was bad enough and dangerous enough.
And now he has
when
defenses.
He was just a mobster. Now if he bulks up on them, like exactly, right? He's like, not good. We do not want to give Marcone more power of any kind, especially not supernatural magical power. So yeah, I think that is very much part of why Harry's had a problem with him from the start, because, like I said, it was his first big magical mission that they met.
Right. Nicodemus here is like, that's a good, like, he's not showing his hand at all. You don't know just how powerful he is because he hasn't attacked. He hasn't done any sort of
He hasn't
hit.
attacked. We haven't
all he's
seen
done
any
is
kind
take
of
a gun
demon.
and smack him. But we also see from his defenses that he is one strong motherfucker.
Well, exactly, right? He didn't do anything to getting blasted into the wall. Like I say, right? Anybody else, you would have had
Shrugs
broken
off.
back along with who
Doesn't
knows how
even
many
piss him
other.
off. He's got cool too.
He's cool. Well, I mean, he's annoyed. He's definitely, he's finding, as Dresden likes to do to everybody, he's grating and getting on his nerves. But yeah,
But he holds that cool because, Dresden definitely knows how to push buttons right away.
right?
But he doesn't.
He's British.
He's like, I tried. I tried. Smack. This concludes our episode 10.18 Fellowship of the Tattoo. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.